Welcome to Soapy in New York City. I'm Rebecca Budig.
I'm Greg Rikaart, and we have a very, very exciting guest with us today.
We do. Renée Elise Goldsberry, who you may know as the Tony and Grammy Award-winning actress from the original Broadway production of Hamilton.
Or you may know her from any number of her TV roles, including The Good Wife, Girls Five Eva, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Yeah, she also played Evangeline Williamson on One Life to Live, where she was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, I think.
Twice, yeah.
Yes, twice.
Yeah. Did you and Renée ever work together?
We never worked together, but I was on All My Children. She was on One Life to Live at the same time. And we used to audition together. We would talk about, I don't know, I just remember talking to her about getting pregnant. We talked about that a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see her. And also, most recently, she has a new album out. Mm-hmm. But she also released a documentary movie called Satisfied, which documents her struggle with becoming a mother and balancing her career with motherhood.
That's right. And Satisfied has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's so good. It is so good. I'm so excited to see her.
I am too. We'll be right back with Renée Elise Goldsberry.
Welcome, Renée Elise Goldsberry.
You guys, I love you.
Love you
I'm
guys.
so happy to be here.
So happy you're
So-
here. Truly.
I know you from One Life to Live. The soap opera
ABC
One Life to Live.
Daytime.
Because I was on All My Children.
And I was on One Life to Live.
And we used to do this thing together called Super Soap Weekend in Florida. And I will tell you,
Those days?
you know,
I do.
obviously I knew you. I didn't know you well because I wasn't on the same show. Mm-hmm. But at the end of a long day at Super Soap Weekend, we would all get on stage and dance like fools in front of everyone, just to music. We'd all just be dancing, going like, oh, okay. And we're so tired after a long day. And then there were a lot of cast members that were on Broadway, at least from my show, and obviously from your show. I had no idea. And we're all going like, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to stay for the show? Or what are we going to do? And all of a sudden, Trevor St. John comes out and he's on this wood percussion. What do you think? What do you call that thing? A cajon?
A cajon.
A cajon.
I discovered it. I learned what it was from Trevor.
Okay. And you are singing a cappella and he is playing this drum, sitting on it, playing this drum. And I am like mesmerized.
Aww.
I just remember going, holy shit. She is amazing.
Oh,
and I was
you.
going, what? And apparently you were in The Color Purple and you had done
The Lion King.
The Lion King. And of course, we all know you were in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Which is just incredible. You're
thank you.
you have the most incredible voice. And I feel like it's only gotten
I have a chill. I'm getting chills right now.
I feel
You're
like
making
it's
me feel
only
so
gotten
good. And you're
better
also reminding me
of that moment?
that moment specifically, and also that glorious time in my life.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, just to be invited to Super Soap Weekend
Yeah.
was like the cream of the crop.
I never complained. Some people were like, oh, and I
Because
was
they
like,
had done it a bunch of times.
I'm
But
like-
if I got the invitation, I was like, I made it.
I know, me too. I was so excited to
Well,
go.
we were
to bring your family.
I felt like Beyonce when we were there. It
know.
was this curated group of people that had all descended that just watched ABC soaps.
Yeah.
So it was the most incredible platform in the world, and we were at Disney World.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. And so we used to do this concert at the end of one night in the weekend, and I and everybody. That's the thing about New York soaps in particular, but all of the soaps. They're just the most talented people in the world. Sure. And if you were in New York, you could, it was like you had a daytime and a nighttime job. Mm-hmm. And the nighttime job was Broadway, and the daytime was daytime TV. Mm-hmm. And so, this wonderful platform, we did concerts. Trevor and I used to sing. Well, he didn't sing. He played. I sang. I said, it was just incredible.
Okay. I know.
Go
I
ahead.
know you want to
No,
ask her.
I will
There's
get to
so
speak at
many
some point,
things.
I'm
There's
sure.
so many things I want to ask you. But so you have congratulations on your documentary Satisfied.
Thank you.
That
Thank
just
you.
came out, and you
Yes.
along with your album, Who I Really Am. Mm-hmm. But when I was watching the documentary, and we will get into all of this, you auditioned for Hamilton. I know you said no several times, but when you finally did audition, you had to learn a song, and what was it, like a night?
It was. It's the song "Satisfied," which I name everything at this point. If I have another child, it'll be "Satisfied."
And if you
Johnson.
don't know this song, it sounds like
It's so
the
fast.
It's
hardest
super hard.
thing to learn, especially. But do you think that being on a soap
Girl, I was about to say it.
helped you?
Yeah, that's the thing. We are mutants as soap opera actors. We are. We have to be able to do everything.
In one take.
Last night we learned it. Last night we learned it, and also the writers are the greatest dreamers in the whole wide world. And so we could be a serial killer, or we could be blind, or we could be in love with somebody that was supposed to be dead. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so wonderful.
Yeah.
I know.
It's such a wonderful place to learn who you are and how to work.
Yeah.
And so it was a glorious time in my life. And then at some point they let me sing. They'd
It was
so
fools
good.
not to.
Well, that's lovely.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, I'm curious, going back to that time.
You asked me a question
did?
about Satisfied. What did you say? Something about how to learn that song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the song I had to learn the night before, and it was so difficult, but not difficult because nothing's harder than those scripts we used to get in our mailboxes that we had to learn the night before.
And sometimes when you have things to a rhythm, like that song has such a rhythm, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And the story that it tells.
But also I used to play a lawyer on One Life to Live.
So lots of legal jargon.
There was a lot of legal jargon, and there was also
Nothing's harder than that.
And also, there's nothing on soap operas. It feels like it does feel a bit like live TV, in the fact, like, as long as you can keep going with this one take.
Yes.
And so I would do whole closing arguments on the soap opera in Landview, defending somebody or other, and you just learned it all. Like, that's what we do. We learn the night before incredible amounts of material.
So we can cover everything, but Satisfied is fresh on our minds. We both watched it last night. She was 10 minutes ahead of me, and she'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm crying," and I'm like, "Why are you crying?" And then 10 minutes later, I'd be like, "I'm crying." And we are both parents. She has is Charlotte about to be 11, or is she
Charlotte's
already?
11.
I can't believe Charlotte is 11.
And I have a son, Monty, who's 9.
Oh my gosh.
And as working parents, whether you work as an artist or not, it is so relatable. And I really feel like in some ways you sort of front-loaded that really challenging time because of that hard time, and correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like now it's a lot easier because you have a lot more say in when you work and where you work.
Well, do I?
Do you not?
How about if?
Oh.
Can I get some say on if?
And where.
And where.
That's the
Not in
thing.
LA.
And
Where-
how
where-
long
where
and how
did-
much.
Where did Girls Five Ever shoot?
In New York City.
See,
it
that's
was
what I thought,
amazing.
but-
It was amazing. And quite honestly, one of the reasons why I'm like, yes! Satisfied is a documentary. It is a series of vlogs, if you will. At some point, I was in Hamilton. We were originating this amazing role in this amazing musical. And the street of 46th Street, outside of the Richard Rodgers Theater, was an ocean of people that weren't even coming to see the show because they couldn't get a ticket. It was literally like, can I just get to that street? So it was so many people that couldn't get into the building. I thought maybe music theater kids will want to know how it feels to be in this moment, in this building, in this dressing room when my character, Angelica Schuyler, was in London in the second act. So I would sit up there and eat some, pad thai or something, and I would just vlog. And the intention...
Did you post them anywhere?
See, that's the thing. I vlog, I create content all the time, and I never post it because that's just a whole other job.
Yeah.
It is a whole other job.
So I had all this content from that time, now cut to 2020. So this is 2016. I was making the vlogs. 2020 comes, and Hamilton comes out on Disney Plus, the film. And I'm doing Zoom press in my guest bedroom, and I realized one night, this is the last time anyone's going to care about Hamilton, and I have all these vlogs on my phone. I have to figure out how to get them off. I have to figure out how to get them out of the cloud. So I'm up all night long trying to figure that out, and my iPhone makes movies like all of ours do,
Right, yeah.
where they combine the same things that happen on that day. So my iPhone is making a movie for me of April 2016. And I remember, that's the day we left Hamilton and we went to the White House and we got to perform for the Obamas. And I also remember, this is the day my son lost his first tooth. But I didn't know until that moment in 2020 that those things were happening on the same day. So what I was having was this experience that was like, siloed into two areas, I thought, but in reality, I was doing two things at the same time. There is a phrase, I don't know if you've heard it. It says, Ginger Rogers did everything Fred Astaire did, only backwards and in heels. Have you heard this? And that phrase popped into my head like, oh, I had babies. So we're getting all this attention at this moment for this great thing we created. But I also had this miracle of my life of these children that came that not easily won children. Neither the career nor the children were easily won.
Same.
So it's a miracle in my life that both of these things are happening.
Which you're brave to share that whole experience in this film, which I think so many women can relate to.
And men.
And men.
And men.
Sorry, yes.
And men. So basically, it was a desire to. It started with, let me just put these up somewhere, and it ended up being a group of people that came together. Kelly O'Hara is one of them. Audra McDonald is another. Chris Bolin is the director. We had a group of people. One of the directors. We have Melissa Hazlip is another director. We have all these amazing people. Amblin Entertainment at some point came on board. All of these people. Most of them dads were so moved by this story and this opportunity to share the difficult road to being a parent and the juggle and the balance or lack thereof. And so what was born is this documentary called Satisfied.
Well, all the vlogging that you did is great because it really sort of puts you in where you were emotionally during that time. But then there's also footage shot. Was that not in 2016, where it's you and your husband in the kitchen?
Yeah.
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 Which it's fascinating to me that you had so much material
I had
from
so
that.
much. It's crazy. I lost a cell phone one day. Michelle Obama came to see Hamilton. I got so excited I lost my phone. And I'm like,
I would too.
It could have been a whole other movie.
I would too, by the way.
Right?
But it was one of those things. I just called in all my friends. Fortunately, the creative team of Hamilton and Lynn were so generous. They were just like, here, which is a really big thing to say. That's why it's wonderful that you mentioned it. It's not just mothers. Just the support of that show. I mean, they have to be very protective of the artistic property, if you will.
Sure.
Not just anybody can go make a documentary, but they were so supportive. They were just like, here, show us when it's done. Take all of it. Take everything we have. Tell this story. And now we have this wonderful documentary.
Because I think it was really unique, too. To that show, I think you said you were the only
mom.
parent.
I was the only
You were the
mom
only
at the
mom.
time. Yeah, there was Lin-Manuel Miranda had children and had one child at that point, and then Chris Jackson had 2 kids. So, but I was the only mom,
Yeah.
and it's just a unique experience.
Yeah.
It really
and
is.
something that you can't fully relate to until you are a member of that club.
Yeah.
I always the joke I always make is the non-parents on an airplane when a crying baby comes on who might be a little concerned or annoyed versus the parents on the plane.
We're just like,
when
thank
crying
God that
baby-
ain't my kid.
Or just sort of looking at the parents. I always look at the parents and I'm like, you've got this. You've got this.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Which I never felt before I was a dad.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and there's been a moment since it's been out. We were in the movie theaters, which was really shocking because that doesn't normally happen for documentaries in the world we live
Especially
in
these days, yeah.
These days, and we'll be on demand starting November 4th.
Oh, I know. I've
this year.
pre-ordered. I do want to watch it again.
And so that's an exciting, everywhere you get documentaries and music and all that stuff. So that's been really, really wonderful.
How, what are your children's response
That's
to?
a very good question.
Thank
You
you.
are a parent. So that was the one thing I was worried about. That's actually why I partnered with Kelly O'Hara and Audra McDonald, because I know how fiercely protective of their families and their children they are. And I didn't want to expose my children because it's their story too. And I was making a decision to share it. And so of course I asked them, I asked their permission, which, my son was like, this might be the only chance I get to be in a movie. So yes. And he's the shy one. But even so, they're children. So what does even their approval mean? What I needed to make sure was that these producers, and they said yes, gave me and my children and my husband complete veto power to anything. So we had the ability at any time to just take out any footage of them. They all saw it in their own separate cocoons, and were so excited and so proud of it. I have to say I was worried about how they might feel, like it was exposing potentially something. And the crazy thing is that our children grow up so fast that when they saw the movie, we started making it in 2020, we were finished in 2024, they don't recognize themselves. They literally look at the movie and they're like, those kids are so cute.
So let me ask you a question, because the part that really got me, that really brought me to tears, was you went to dinner with your son Benjamin, and your nanny or whoever was coming to help and pick him up so you could go to the theater. And he's like, no, no, no. And you said, come on, if you were going to do this, I wouldn't have brought you. And he's like, thank you for having dinner with me, Mommy.
I know.
And then you're crying saying he shouldn't have to thank me. And I just like,
oh God,
did you have a talk with him about it? It's weird because, it's so, as parents, we think we're inflicting damage on them just by pursuing our own interests.
I know.
And they're so resilient.
They're so resilient. That was a hard day. It's the guilt. That's what we feel so often. Is who pays the price for me to get to live this dream? And that's real. Yeah. Because they do. Their mommy isn't there a lot. They get really used to. My kids are surprised to this day. Your mom? You're picking me up from school. That it's a thing. It has nothing to do with just being in the theater or being on a soap opera. It's just a real thing for a working parent, which is why both parents really understand. And what's interesting is that kids are so resilient and so grateful for any way they get you. Yeah. And even my daughter one day, she said, "Mom, you were there every time I needed you, and every time you could be." Like, what's the big deal?
I think, too,
Isn't that beautiful?
It's absolutely beautiful. And I think, too, sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the trees because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? Raising children is a more than 18-year-long experience. And even if there's a tough quarter mile or however long you want to define it as, it's a longer race. And even when you're not there for that moment, when I know I can confidently say, and I'm only halfway through the race because my son is 9, I know that when he leaves the nest that I've done a good job. Yeah. Not every single day. Yeah. But overall, I've done the job.
Yeah. And you were in town. I mean, you were there most mornings.
Oh my God, that's the beauty of it, is that, that was actually one of the things that was wonderful about being on a soap opera as well, is most of the time, if we're fortunate enough to work in this industry, we could be anywhere. Yeah. So we are tied as an anchor to New York City if we're fortunate enough to be on Broadway. Yeah. But that is a blessing. I just want to say one thing. I think the real star of my documentary is my husband, Alexis.
I was going to say.
And one of the things that when I look at their reaction or their kind of interpretation of what our lives are and their mommy and her career really is modeled by my husband, because my husband does not model, any resentment at all. He's literally so like, go, I got it, go. He talks about it in the documentary.
In the documentary, and he said one thing. He said, go, be there, do it 100%.
If you're gonna go, don't half go. Yeah. Don't be if you're gonna be sad, then just stay here. Go, do it, live, enjoy those moments. And I did. That's the thing that's funny. When people are like really emotional, I cried so much. Oh my God, it was so, even my daughter, when she saw the documentary, she was like, Mommy, it was so hard for you, she said, which isn't the point to think that it's hard for me. In reality, the point of the documentary is a testimony. Yeah. It's really not just about the balance and how hard it is. It's about the fact that I feel like I'm living a sliding doors version of my life. Yeah. When I was on One Life to Live many years ago, I had the most amazing family. I learned more than I've ever learned as an artist. I had the most amazing fans in the whole wide world. And I had 2 miscarriages. I mean, sitting, one of them on set, that was a huge part of my life at that time, was just thinking, this is just incredible loss, and this will not happen for me. And so what I had at the moment that so there's moments of being in One Life to Live in the documentary, because that's a part of my journey
with Michael Easton.
With Michael Easton.
I know.
That beautiful man. So what I have is a testimony from different, I can almost chart through the jobs I was doing. I know what was happening with my fertility journey when I was in Rent. I know what was happening in my fertility journey when I was in Hamilton. And when I won the Tony, it was when this moment I realized, oh my gosh, I have this, and I have these 2 children, and I did not believe that was going to be my reality, because it's not promised. And there were so many days where it seemed like it was not going to happen for me. And I was going to be a very blessed woman that had a different experience. And so, so the documentary really is an opportunity to say, we can try to have, we don't have to choose. We can try for both things, and we will find at the end of the journey that we are better for having taken it.
That's such a beautiful perspective.
That's the feeling I was left with.
And I related to both you and your husband at different times. My husband works. There's times he's been out of town, and we have both had to sort of pass that baton. And I know we've both felt the guilt. And to your point too about not being sad during that time, I think we all know the experience of whatever is going on in our lives. The minute that camera's rolling or that curtain goes up, you're in that character, and that is such a enriching experience that I'm always grateful when I'm going through something hard in my life to have the job to go to.
Me too.
Yeah.
We're better. When I was coming up and I dreamed about like this idea of like life and career, I thought I'm going to get married. I'm going to have no, that's the opposite of what I thought. I thought I'm going to get famous. I'm going to go to this 2 auditions and I'm going to get famous and everything's going to happen in my career. And then when I'm a superstar, I'm going to go live in a farm and they'll bring me in once or twice a year from my family with all my kids and dogs and whatever to back to famous. I'll go back to famous and then I'll go back to the farm and back to famous and then back to the farm. I just thought the order was going to be that everything happened in my career first. And that isn't how it happened. And I think this is important particularly for men to know, because we really confuse them with this idea that you're supposed to have everything figured out before you can take the kind of risk of even trying to have a family. Yeah. And in my experience, babies bring blessings. Yeah. In my experience, every time I added a dependent, my career kind of had a sea-level rise. So anyway, I think I'm better. That's what you made me think. I'm better when you say action because I'm tired. Right. But because I have these children at home, because I have this husband, because of all of the things that are pulling on my life, I think I'm better.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
I mean, wow. When you did this documentary, who decided, was it obvious that you were going to do an album and you were going to have an album that the songs were incorporated into the documentary? Was that the plan from the beginning? I'm so glad
you asked that. I started an album in 2020, and I'm glad you asked it because you told me that you remembered seeing me sing at Super Soap Weekend.
Yeah.
My album is called Who I Really Am, and it's considered a debut album because that's what you say. But in reality, every time I've ever had a platform, I'm like, this might be my only chance. There's an audience right now. Let me make some form of musical material to share, because that's also what I do. Yeah. And so when I was in the soap opera, after Super Soap Weekend, I made a little mini EP, they call it, and I put it out. And then after the Hamilton thing, I just felt like, gosh, I have so many more fans right now and such an opportunity. I want to make something. So in 2020, I started recording an album, and we finished it in 2024 also. It's just the timing of how things worked. One day the documentary crew followed me into a recording session, and they were like, these songs are perfect, because they're also autobiographical. And so the music ends up being kind of a soundtrack to that time in my life.
You co-wrote a lot of those songs.
I co-wrote almost all of them except for 2 songs. Satisfied, written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Sarah Bareilles, my very good friend from Girls Five Eva. Yeah. I was working on the album when I was shooting Girls Five Eva. One day she was like, I summoned the courage to tell her that I was writing music and making an album too. And she said, oh, I have a song that I think you would sing great. And she gave me just one of the most amazing songs ever written.
Yeah, it's a really pretty song.
Everything she writes is amazing. Yeah, yeah. It's called Don't Wanna Love You, and that's on the album too.
I can't wait to listen.
Thank you.
So going back to Hamilton, are you capable of having clarity of that time, or is it such
a rocket ship?
A rocket ship.
I have so much clarity, and also there's so much I will never know. I mean, that's what I really call it. It's a progressive revelation, because new milestones keep, coming up, and I'm just marveling at the fact that a 9-year-old is obsessed, with a musical that was, happened before they were born. Yeah. So yeah, I'm constantly discovering, oh, this thing still matters to people. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but from the very beginning, it was the greatest piece of art I ever stumbled upon. The reason why I learned the song in a day is because it's one of those things you hear one time, like anything that becomes your favorite song, that you just have to know every single word and what they're saying, even if there's a lot of words, like Lin-Manuel Miranda's songs. I just, a phenomenon happened in my life. I got to be a part of that incredible rocket ship show. I got to be a part of that wonderful family. And it continues to bring me tremendous opportunity, like being back here with you guys.
You capture that in the film too, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you when you came here was like, you must have known when you were working on that show, this is amazing.
I did.
And you capture that in the film, and you capture the excitement that you had.
And also the fear.
Knowing.
The fear. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, yeah.
When something's that amazing, it's the fear of how can I hold on to this thing? So much of that film was like, talking about the time where I was just like trying not to be fired from the job. And they'll say, the creatives of the show will say, she's crazy. We were never thinking about that. But in your own head.
Sure. We're artists.
We're
You're
artists.
Like irreplaceable.
We're also from soap opera.
Yeah.
Right.
They're literally, I think when I died on One Life to Live, it was somebody else, there was another actress's hand that was living and dying and breathing when I wasn't there. I mean, we were replaceable.
Sure. Jeannie Cooper from The Young and the Restless would always say, the star of the show is the show.
Yeah,
and that, which is true, particularly on soaps, but it does make you feel dispensable.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit.
A little bit.
What's next for you? Do you think that you want to, go for an Oscar?
Oh my gosh.
Go for film?
You know what? It's crazy. I remember.
I mean, you have done films, but I mean,
the first awards I was ever nominated for were Daytime Emmy Awards.
Yes.
Daytime Emmy Awards, and I think one, maybe I think I just remember. I'll never forget sitting there that day, wondering if my name would be called to win an award. It was not, but how excited I was to have been nominated and acknowledged in that way. And then the next time I was up for awards was in the Hamilton season, many years later. And I remember being like, I was so scared of giving the speech. I was like, I've never won anything before.
Oh, your speech.
Your speech.
Thank you.
What came first, the Grammy or the Tony?
So the Grammy actually, but I didn't know, but I thought it was the Tony. I didn't know when we won a Grammy. So the Grammy Academy did something crazy for Hamilton. They have this rule. They do not allow any artist to not be physically present at the Grammys. That's up for, they won't let you perform somewhere else, or everybody would do it.
I see.
Like, that's why they can't do that. If it could be that you could perform from wherever you were, why would they not? If Taylor Swift did it, then Beyonce would do it, then that's just what you would do, because who can be in LA or wherever at that time? But because it was a Broadway show, and we couldn't bring the entire stage there, and we had a show that night, we performed for the Grammys from the Richard Rodgers Theater, and they telecast our performance onto the Grammy telecast. And then when they announced, I'll never forget it, when they announced that we won the Grammy, they filmed us, and we were on stage in our Broadway costumes, jumping up and down, really excited. And I, if you look at video from it, am screaming and crying for Lynn. I thought he had won a Grammy, and I was so happy for him. I was like, oh my God, like you would think. I was so happy for him. I didn't realize for months, when they sent me a Grammy in the mail, that we all won. The whole cast wins when it's a cast recording. Yeah. The whole cast wins a Grammy. So I literally called him. I'm like, I think they sent the Grammy to my house. He was like, Renee, we all won it. I was like, oh my God, I won. That's when I had.
I didn't know until the Grammy came to your house.
I literally was like, Alexis, I won a Grammy. Like, I had no idea. So yeah, so by then on my mantelpiece, I had a Tony and a Drama Desk Award and a Lortel Award and this Grammy, and then all of my kids' trophies in front of them. All of the Little League, everything in front. But the beauty was that it was a sneaker, a little sneak success.
Yeah. A sneaky Grammy.
Yeah, it was a sneaky Grammy. Or I'm a complete idiot.
So what are we going for? Emmy, Oscar?
Those are the last two.
So, I was nominated for an Emmy for Hamilton too, so I almost got 3 of them. from Hamilton. But the beauty is Hamilton did win an Emmy. This time it was not a group win, but I was the one that accepted it for our company.
Yeah,
so
I
a
remember
lot
seeing
of people think I also won an Emmy because you can find pictures of me everywhere with the Emmy saying, thank you, we love you, with the whole cast around me. And so when people say, much like when people say, I loved you on All My Children, and I just say, thank you, even though I wasn't on All My Children.
I had one job on one soap for 15 years, and I work on another soap. And when people come up to me now and they say, oh, I love you on the show, I went through a minute of being like, which one?
I know.
And now I just say thank you.
I just say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. They can literally ask me if I'm anybody. I'll be like, thank you. But it's the same thing when they ask me if you won an Emmy. I'll be like, I did. I sure did. Thank you.
I went through a period where people would think I was Michael C. Hall from Dexter.
Oh.
And I was like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
I am good. I am great on that show, aren't I?
We were talking about a film, and Oscar, you never answered my
Oh,
question.
will
Do you want to write?
What do I want to do? Well,
seem so
I love
creative.
doing more. I love doing more theater, and so I'm doing a play in the spring called The Ballisters. It's a Broadway show.
Great.
With a tremendous group of actors. It's a David Lindsay-Abaire play. I'm in a movie called House of Dynamite right now, which is really wonderful, and it's doing really, really well, and
Great.
I'm in it for a little bit, but I'm in it. And it's
in theaters right now?
It just left theaters. It's on Netflix. It's like #1 on Netflix.
Great.
And it's
So you have two movies then, because your other one
have
is
my
pre-order.
document, my
Satisfied is
pre-order.
pre-order, but
but the main thing that and I do have huge dreams.
And you did
I
New
want
York-
to do
tell
a
us.
Christmas album. That's what I want to do. I'm just waiting to
you've
make a
done-
little bit more money so I can fund it. But I want to do a Christmas album. I want to be Mrs. Claus. I love performing. I perform all over the country. I have a band. I perform all over the country. And
You did
that's
New York Pops, right?
I did New York. And I did, the Boston Pops. I just played the Ford Theater. I played the Hollywood Bowl with Sarah Bareilles. I played, just all over. We just travel. So I've loved that. That's another gift from Hamilton is the ability to show up and I feel like it's a ministry, honestly, and especially in the time that we live in right now. I was just on a panel. I just came here from this Town and Country philanthropy panel of Broadway artists, and I was talking about how amazing it is to be artists because in a country that's so divided, when you come see art, why give money to art? Why give money to artists? Why fund that? Because we really do get to stand on stages and let you know that we are actually each other. There is this divide isn't real. You can really see the humanity in other people when you come together to see us on a soap opera or in the theater or in the concert, and so that's really what I love doing right now with this platform.
So
and I love just hanging out and annoying my children.
Who are how old now?
16 and 12, and I just love kind of being behind the scenes.
kind of when they need you the
their
most.
life.
Really.
Absolutely. Somebody told me when I was young, when they were young, somebody told me, you're really sad now about not being with your children every day, but when you really need to be with them is when they're a little older. Right now, wherever you are in the world, wherever they are, whatever time of day, you know exactly where they are. If it's 12, if it's 3, if it's 6, if it's 9:30, when they're 17 and 18, when they don't want you around, that's when you need to be there. So that's been really a lovely thing to do, is just to be right there when they get home.
I can't wait to see what you do next, Renee.
Thank you.
Me too.
I'm so
And can I
excited
tell you
for
how wonderful it is? I just want to say this also. I'm so excited about your family. Specifically yours, because we had a conversation
I had to remind you.
in 2014, seeing each other at an audition where you were talking about, just being on the journey and not knowing. That's the thing. When we don't know if it's going to happen and we're asking, that's like what's most exciting to me about the possibility of what this documentary could do, is that some people might not feel so alone in that moment of life when you're asking for something, the audacity to ask for something like children, marriage. It's already hard enough to ask, to say, I want to, just brave enough to be like, I want to be an actor.
Yeah.
But to ask for that as well it feels like an impossible dream, and it's scary, And I think we need to talk about it. We need to talk to each other when we're going through it, and it's hard to do.
Thank you for saying
You were incredible. We ran into each other at that audition, and you were very encouraging, and like you're like, hang in there. I've been through it. You got to do it.
Yeah.
It's all worth it. It's all worth it.
And we all have the shared experience
Yeah.
of fertility challenges.
Yeah.
My husband and I wanted more children, and finally we're like, this is the family that we have.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect family the way
Yeah.
it is. And but it's also relatable. Again, like I said earlier, whether or not you're an artist, any parent who has a job knows that struggle. And thank you so much for sharing.
You guys,
your
thank you for
beautiful
having
story.
me.
Thank you
I'm
for
so
being here,
grateful. I feel like I'm home.
It's an honor to meet you, truly.
Thank you.
Our producer, who's not here with us in New York City, is like
Likened you
a
to Barbara
super
Streisand.
fan. Yeah,
my gosh.
he's a super fan. So he's just like at home freaking
What's
out
his
that
name?
he's not.
His name is
here.
Isaac.
Isaac, that's my favorite name. That's my son's middle name.
I think he just probably passed
Oh
out.
my God!
So,
it's so. Oh my God! If next time you do a podcast and you want me to come back on, I'm gonna tell you my Isaac story.
All right. We love you, Isaac. We miss you.
Love you, Isaac.
Thank you so much, Renee. And you can catch Renee's movie, Satisfied, on Apple TV
Amazon,
and Amazon.
everywhere.
You
All
can
places.
pre-order it now. Please do. It is worth a watch.
And remind me the name of the other movie.
The other movie is called House of Dynamite, and my
Dynamite.
album is
And her
called
album,
Who I Really Am.
Staring. Listen to the song Staring.
Thank you.
It is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for watching. And if you miss any other episodes of Soapy, you can catch us on the CBS YouTube channel. You can listen to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you next time.